I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching My Hero Academia, Season 7, Episode 9. We are finally caught up.
Yes.
Sorry it took so long, but last episode that we did watch was one of my favorite episodes and biggest payoffs in this entire series. Hands down for me.
Dobby was a possible vessel.
Yeah.
He was a failure.
Even earlier, like this season, right? We've known that there's been a traitor since so early in the series, but the further we learn about All For One, the more we learn about All For One, the more we're really given an insight to how much meddling he has actually done and how many plans he's pre-thought out. And it definitely gives me anxiety going forward because although we're at a disadvantage in fighting Shigaraki right now, I know Deku's on his way. But on the Endeavor front of things, I'm wondering that even though that this was a complete surprise to everybody on the villain side, all of this plan, everything that has to do with Troy, I am more anxious than ever on random, obscure, thought-out plans that we know nothing about yet.
We get lines about the unpredictability of Toga and how that is intimidating to us because we can't necessarily strategize against it.
Yeah.
But I feel like All For One is definitely unpredictable in the fact that we know he has so many friends, so many plan A to plan Z.
Yeah.
I'm honestly kind of nervous to check back in to see how he's doing as well.
Same. Do you think that's what we're going to get this episode, Endeavor?
I feel like we should spend some time with the other battles that are going on since last episode, episode 8, we had like heavy focus on Shoto and Dobby. We've seen what Toga and Uraraka are going to be up to. We know where Deku's currently going. We know what's currently happening within the coffin in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
そのことに気づいてからは立ち止まっていた俺とは違ってみんながはるか先にいると思ってた。でもみんなはいつもそこにいた。いつも安心させてくれた。溜めて放つ力の凝縮だ。
Episode 8, the end of it made me cry, and they're gonna like make me do it again.
Oh my god. Mm. It being Toya is the perfect thing. Don't waste your breath on thank you. Oh my god. KO. That has to give hope to everybody else, right?
Wow, they probably feel invigorated.
Let's go, Ida! Oh my god. I hope Endeavor hears. Oh. It almost doesn't.
I don't feel hopeful.
It doesn't feel real because of how much despair we've been in for so long. How many losses we've taken.
This is only one of the battles
Extras.
too. I can't.
Nah, we deserve this win. Oh. What? Brick guys. Brickmen.
Makes sense he would be on this battlefield.
I love Mudman. Yep. I'm glad Mina's there. Oh? Oh, wow, what a throwback. Episode 1.
We did get a line about all the jailbreakers, the fact that they got lucky that they weren't at the other fight.
Don't you fucking dare. Oh. Yes! And Kirishima.
Showed how manly he is.
Whoa.
I'm glad that they're at the same place. That makes me happy.
This is gonna push Bakugo to go even harder if he hears. Yes! Of course you did it! Oh!
主要戦力の分断を最優先にしたものであり、その他の対応に
Who is this?
現場対処というわけですね。
Ooh, that plant was going through that guy.
あるいは希望見えぬものこそこの星を覆う湿った皮膜そのものです。何？宇宙人何時分？この星って。あの男を欺こうとした者は誰一人生きてはいない。例外を生むことは許されない。
There will be no
ディクテイターの失態により番が回ってこなかったゆえ、オールフォーワンの力。
I'm all for one's assassin.
ここより果たしてみせましょう。全てのその他が君を狙い続ける。イソップのコウモリ、青山優雅氏。
His focus is on Aoyama. Oh, a jailbreaker.
Yes! Spinner? Whoa! Spinner's big! What? Oh my god!
追加の個性んなもんいるわけねえだろ。あいつは全てを持っている。俺にないもの全て。
Spinner has an extra quirk?
What is it? Is it just gigantification or?
俺には何もない。
執念が負けるはずがないだろう。鹵獲された黒霧を奪還しろ。今を壊すために死柄木と俺たちのためにたちを虐げてきた全てをぶっ壊すために。
That oppressed us. Wow, the two Class A that are here too. Against the heteromorphs.
Back at Camino.
Why are we back here? That makes me nervous.
Oh my god.
Oh, even his tear froze.
What was that? He didn't let All for One touch him.
No way there was something planted in him when he was asleep for those 3 years, right? No.
君の選択だろ。その過ちもどうせこうやって正当化してるんだろう。
Shoto's life isn't ruined.
守るものが多い。お初が始まった。だから。
Oh, theme.
ナンバーワン。
オールフォーワンには明確に弱点がある。ペインがくれた脱獄時の記録でも装置ごと移動していた。おそらく。
God, I hope it's not a bluff.
Oh.
It feels real. So he's gonna have quirks around it to protect it. Just to feed him.
The smallest, strongest team you can. Don't want to feed him.
Damn!
Can we really have multiple wins in a
Oh,
row?
team attacks!
In each of the fingertips.
Ah,
Brothers.
for both of us. Whoa!
こちらの強化戦も熱が抜けてくる。これは衝撃反転では返せない。そしてホークスが反撃の隙を潰す。微妙にタイミングが合っていない。
Getting in their heads.
エンデバーが制裁を書いているんじゃないか。体制の類は補給していない。
Oh!
ああ、エンデバー。会も誰も眼前の戦いに懸命なのに、なぜ君だけが心をよそにやれる？ 傑作が失敗作を処分してくれたんだ。
Your masterpiece dealt with your failure for you.
Mm-hmm.
信楽戸村は志村奈々の孫だよ。あれ、おかしいなオールマイト。笑顔はどうした？僕はね、
You have to have a mental
前々から
fortitude
君
right
の
now.
力への歪んだ気球にも注目していたんだよ。ってやつはいい土を見ると種をまかずにはいられないんだ。
The warped seeds imagery from last
見
episode.
つからなかったろ。そうさ、見つかるわけがない。
What did you do to it?
感謝してほしいな。
やはり今のこの人にダビと戦って勝つことはできなかった。冷静に。
Oh no! Oh!
エンデバーさん。
いや、この距離で避けられるかな。
Nagant's replacement.
代替品よ。
避けられない。
Hell yeah!
God, thank you.
ちょっとあんま揺れないで。打ち飛ぶのそんな慣れてないから。
できればあまりあれだ。死を動かさないで。ドギマギする。
Oh my god.
魔王の引き立て役に当てられる脇役の話。
Side characters like the line from Monoma.
倒
Did he
し
have
て
the
から
quirk
行
of a
った
side
方が良く
character?
ない？
Holy shit.
エンデバーさんは
Oh, that looks like a chunk.
ショート、無事なのか、ショートを。どうや、二人とも。何をやっているんだ、俺は。オール・フォー・ワンに怒るのは筋違いだろう。全部、俺が招いたことの戦いも、この傷も。
And this wound.
Can you cauterize it?
傷は肺をギリギリ避けて
Barely missed.
羽から伝わってくる呼吸音でわかる。動く前提で進める。
The assumption that he'll join the fight again.
それはエンデバーさんがいた上での話。
I'm worried because the name of the episode's extras. I don't want
まったく
All for One saying that and then doing something.
また助けてくれヒーロー。当然。
こんなところで油を
Ugh.
塗ってるわけにはいかないんだよ。戸村の方に万が一があってはいけないからね。
What
エンデ
the
バーはまだ仕留めきれていない。となるとこのフェーズでの彼らの目的はこれまでの時間稼ぎ。たかが鳥2匹にはめられるのも面倒。
two birds.
最もほころびが生じうるのはここ。
Jiro?
Holy shit!
ホークス
ことで我々は勝てる。
覚悟なら固めてきたはず。抜けられた悪意にすら遅れてそげだ。
Delayed my goosebumps.
緑谷、青山、あんたらこれにさらされ続けてきたんだね。
学生気分の延長で
Extension of
し
school
まっ
did
たん
it
だ
you.
ね。
No.
君の少ない羽ではさばききれぬ物理。
Oh no!
ホークス、今の君はただのポンコツ。脇役が錯覚してしまったんだね。たまたま
One of her earphone jacks!
自分も魔王に
Oh my god!
特別な人間なのだと。
Okay, that was My Hero Academia Season 7, Episode 9. Does that come back?
Maybe with some surgery if we save it and we put it on ice and then we
Yeah.
have someone sew it back on.
I don't think this puts Jiro out of the fight. I have hope that she'll be able to get up and be able to still push on, because that is not in Class 1A's vernacular to just lay down after one hit.
Right, it is kind of like Hawks losing his feathers, though, in a way. Because if you think about it in terms of, like, if you were to lose something that was so ingrained in you or have less in it, something that was so, like, a part of you, like, say, like, you could only see out of one eye, hear out of one ear. That's something like Jiro, one of her earphones, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like there would be some sort of maybe learning curve there in terms of, like, how to do what she does, but with only one of them. Maybe there'd be something to have a barrier of which to push through in terms of using the only one.
Interesting.
But that leaves me in a scared place. Are they gonna kill someone? Are they going to kill someone in this class?
No. No, I don't think so. Unless it's like a Bakugo thing, but I don't think they do that because of what happened last season and how close it was to death. I don't think so.
I mean, it was a lot about what happened at midnight, and that's why we see Mina reacting, obviously, in the way that we did in this episode. And I think to a viewer, that character and what happened to them was like, oh, wow, they did that. Okay. But
you have a point.
Student this is the final battle. Characters do die and have horrible injuries in this universe. Recovery Girl can't fix everything.
Yeah. So you don't think Recovery Girl could heal?
I don't think it would
Jiro?
grow back.
Yeah.
I can't really imagine it like growing back. I feel like a medical doctor, a surgeon, if given it immediately, could fix it.
Yeah.
But I don't think we have time for that. I think this might be a permanent kind of change for Jiro.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. But in terms of, like, I have massive fear that one of the students really actually will die.
Who would you think?
I don't have any guesses of who. I just feel like we're in this ginormous final battle against jailbreakers, like villains we've been fighting since season 1.
Literally.
Like, literally. I feel like there has to be some sort of losses on both sides. We can't come out of this, like, unscathed.
We already haven't, though. Like, in the previous fights and last season, we didn't come out of this unscathed.
Which is why, further the point that we cannot come out of this unscathed.
Maybe. I don't know how powerful the character, I think his name's Kuneda, is. He was one of the jailbreakers who's up against, like, Aoyama.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that it results in Aoyama getting an even bigger moment of fighting back. But with what he was saying, how it was his job to go up against Deku, basically. I am worried about how capable he is.
He is an assassin. As soon as we got the lines about everyone that is it the Camino Ward, which is where Dabi and Shoto's fight was?
Yeah.
All of the heroes there were like, oh, thank goodness we didn't get any of the jailbreakers here. We got lucky. And I'm like, oh, like Aoyama being there. Obviously, I trust Fat Gum. I trust him.
Yeah.
I don't feel too worried as long as he's there. He's also like one to protect the students. But in the case of Hawks, like protecting the younger heroes is definitely a liability on your end.
Yeah, and I think that's where it will be given the students like room to shine, because at the moment, yeah, they're students, but they're heroes just the same, and they can stand up on their feet just as much as I think the real heroes can, right?
I want to see this character Kunaida more though, because I love the flowers.
Yeah,
I absolutely love the flowers. As soon as he was talking, I was like, about the planet, and we have this idea that he can control maybe nature. I mean, I think back to Creati in terms of like Coffin in the Sky and how, oh, we have tons of raw material because we're using her quirk. And like, if this guy is able to use like nature and call upon the earth in order to power his quirk, like he could be very hard to deal with because there's natural resources for him everywhere.
What do you think was given to Spinner? Do you think it was just like an gigantification quirk?
I don't see at the moment.
He looks more like
changes.
Rage, Berserk, and then bigger.
Which is that from having another quirk added within you? Is that from...
I think definitely that's the implication of the scene with All for One and Dabi.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Dabi walking away and saying that his was enough.
Yeah.
Getting into Dabi, though, what the fuck is it?
What's that little glowy thing that's inside his chest?
I mean, it would definitely prey on the idea of the victimization of Dabi, right? Like, of the lack of consent or, like, awareness. He straight up turned down another quirk, and the idea of something else being implanted with him from the day that All for One stepped in after the fire is a great idea narratively, but I want to have seen Shoto, you know, have defeated Dabi here. I don't know if it's like an explosion. I don't know if it's like oh, I'm good again, I can go for round 2.
Oh no, you bringing up explosion just makes me think, like, what if it is like a last ditch, if something were to happen to this pawn, like, I want to take everyone down with them.
It'd be consistent.
It would be consistent. And I honestly, hearing the story of what happened to Dabi in the prior episode, in episode 8, and then starting to use that against Endeavor's mental here was really, really smart. Agreed. And I love this imagery of the seeds. Like, at first, we're calling the people themselves seeds in episode 8. We're like, oh, warped seeds. But then in this episode, we're like, okay, well, we're taking this idea of these people as seeds, but then going into what we do to them. What we implant inside of them, these seeds. And I think that the atmosphere over where Shoto is a little too happy right now, especially because we're telling everyone else. We're having a game of telephone, and everyone else is feeling empowered by this, motivated by this. Shoto did it. We're so proud of him.
Yeah, but like, okay, to go off of that vibe, if it's an explosion, like a self-destruct, that wouldn't do anything to disrupt the we got Dabi narrative. It would, if anything, I think, like, elicit a cry for help from Shoto, maybe, of like, oh my god, no, please don't die. Like, I still want to talk to you. But, you know?
I was thinking the self-destruct would have more casualties than just the singular person. Because why else would you plant it? Because it's not like... The reason we planted it in Nagant was basically just not wanting him to... Not wanting her to, switch sides. Not wanting her to be a traitor or betrayal to All for One. I feel like there wouldn't... Is that the same... would that be the same reason for Dobby? Like, you wouldn't want the possibility of him waking up past this fight and having the opportunity of changing.
Yeah.
But then you'd have to think there was an opportunity for change to begin with.
Do you think that, like, obviously, if an idea exists, a quirk could exist, but the thought of it being something that would give him a push to get back up, or like an enhancement in some way, or, okay, when did we actually get it?
Okay, I think this is it.
It's definitely interesting that we make the call, why is he still breathing after that? And then we're shown it. It's like a purple ball of light in the center of his chest. It reminds me of the idea of Shoto's ability being like within the center of him. I'm like, oh shit, is it some type of like ice quirk that he has too? Is it something that can cool him down? But what's purple? Like, you know, like other than some sort of explosion or revitalization of life.
Okay, if it was something that Dobby could have utilized to become stronger, why would they not have told him about it prior?
Maybe he wouldn't have used it just out of like
spite?
Yeah.
Yeah, but in a last ditch fight, like you could have still told him even if he wouldn't use it.
Yeah.
Just so he knew that he had it. So what would be your reasoning to not tell him about this?
There's also the chance that this purple glowy light is nothing.
It's his soul, and it's just showing that he's being resilient within his body. There are other...
That's not what I said, but yeah, sure.
Another thing it could be is that sometimes even in this show, this idea of putting your focus on a singular part of your body, concentrating the blood flow in a certain area of your body to either keep you alive or to like protect yourself from a certain injury in another area.
It could be Dobby himself trying to self-destruct. Like, fuck it. You know?
Like a little fireball that burns like the hottest. Or
like how you were alluding to, like that will that like he, and how Spinner said like he has a goal, you know?
That's his goal right there.
Yeah.
Endeavor got a giant chunk taken out of his side.
Yeah, it didn't hit his lungs, thankfully. And I love that Hawks was able to discern that by having a few feathers on Endeavor, and he could therefore hear his breathing. I definitely love the idea that All For One, although he is insanely physically powerful, one of his main traits that will defeat a hero is the psychological aspect of defeating their will to fight by dropping a fucking bombshell out of nothing. I think that it's interesting because on one hand, we were given the revelation of who Shigaraki really was. At the same time, All Might heard it the first time around in season 3. But within this instance, we were given that information before from Dobby's perspective. So we already knew going into it, and we got to see how Endeavor really reacted there. I think it's like an interesting like choice because in the All Might reveal, I alongside All Might, my jaw was on the ground. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then we got to rebuild our resolve with All Might. But here we're like, fuck, we know how much.
We're giving it as a fuck moment. Like, oh, why do you have to say that? Because we knew.
We know what that's going to do to Endeavor. We know it's going to put him out for a bit. And it would lead to an emotional response that would further put him out a bit.
And before that moment, they were just ramping that up to that point.
Yeah.
They were just continuously telling us through dialogue, oh, Endeavor, don't let your emotions get to you here. Oh, Endeavor is weaker since when he found out that Dobby was Toya. Like, he's not at his peak.
Yeah.
And we're continuously getting reminded up until that point of information reveal and then getting in the side.
I wonder if you had I apologize for not being able to recall her name, but the Spore Girl.
Oh yeah.
If we had her up in this fight, we were like pointing out that the big red flag weakness of All For One is his respirator and his ability to breathe.
Ooh.
If we just implant some spores into his throat like we did in the, class v class exams, then that might be helpful, but I'm sure that All For One has some thing in his pocket to be able to.
That's a cool, fun idea, though. In terms of like, he has trouble breathing. He's obviously has a mask on purpose.
Yeah.
In order to like continue living. Using a character like that or just talking about it is fun because I think that could be cool. I'm
trying to think of other quirks that could be used that would be very like focusing on whether it's breathing or like removing something, removing a mask.
Star and Stripe, New Order.
Oh, true.
No air here.
Yeah, facts. Where I want to see Lemillion. He's my favorite character in the show.
And we just have not.
And I'm probably just being stupid. He's probably just out for the count, or we've seen him somewhere.
I don't think we have.
No?
No.
Before
we leave this, there was a line that I really liked, and I don't have it written down verbatim, but like I wrote down the gist, and it was basically like having your masterpiece deal with your failure.
Yeah, in regards to Todoroki and Dabi.
That was a good line.
All right, that's all I have you.
Yeah, I'm just scared.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.